Manchester United, of course, it hasn't gone unnoticed on us, has it, Mr. Martin O'Neill, that in Amorim's first Premier League game at home, they go out there and they do a job on Everton. They win it by 4-0. Is he heading for his first true Premier League litmus test this week, do you think, Martin? Wednesday, Arsenal away, then Forest at the weekend, and then heads to the Etihad the weekend after that.
Yeah, 3 proper tests for him, and he'll find out a lot more about his team then. But still, it's a good win. It's a good in front of the home fans as well too, and well done him.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to get a tune out of Marcus Rashford, but early days yet.
Early days yet, absolutely. You know, it's someone responding, I suppose, to a new manager coming in. I think that did he not mention in some sort of tweet or other that he said a really good session under Amorim early on. I know I would tend to push those to the side. You know, any players giving the new manager the heads up, you know, bound for failure as far as certainly, honestly. The problem is that they think that the manager's not going to leave them out of the side if they're not doing it. You know, I've been on both sides of that there. I praised the manager coming in who bombed me out after 3 weeks, and I've also bombed players out who've also given me the thumbs up. So yeah, I've no truck with that.
I don't know about you, Sam. I've looked at Amorim, I've listened to him. I'm not much the wiser at this stage because it's such early days.
I thought he spoke quite well after the Ipswich game. I mean, Rashford will either perform or he won't. I mean, the bottom line is that I think Ruben Amorim is the kind of manager that will say, right, I'm not hanging about. I'm not going to fanny about with people like Martial that people fannied about with for years. You're going to be out the door if you don't work for me. So Rashford will be in that camp. I thought he was very lively yesterday, but then it was difficult not to be lively against an almost mummified back four that Everton put out, and some of the performances from talkSPORT and Braithwaite were poor. But he's got the result. You know, whichever way you cut it, United can't win. If they'd got a bad result against Everton, they'd have been behind the 8 ball. If they get a good result, it's because Everton was so bad. Look, United are going to be a work in progress for a period of time. People like Rashford will step up, they'll do their tweets, they'll play the game of suggesting that they've got this new revolution that they want to be part of. And I think with him, he will be definite. And I'm not suggesting that other managers haven't attempted to be so, but there has been a little bit of muddying the waters. I think people like Rashford will be seen to be part of the new guard or an old guard. There'll be nothing in the middle. So the new guard is, we're going my way, the way I want you to play. There'll be a consequence if you don't follow my instructions, which is not necessarily diminishing in the public domain. You just won't play. And that'll be the consequence. And I think that's definite. And that's something that other people that have sat in this room, like Danny Murphy, have said. It doesn't seem to be a consequence. You play for Manchester United, you don't do your job, you don't track back, you don't work hard off the ball, and you seem to get picked the following week. In this instance, I think Amorim will go hard or go home.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do as a Manchester
United
manager.
Does his suit fit?
Well, yeah, I've not seen him in one yet. He's been in tracksuits. His tracksuits fit.
His trousers look as if they fit him. We shall see. Early days for Amorim yet. We'll talk more about Frank Lampard and Wayne Rooney in the course of events, of course, now both managing in the Championship. Wayne having a bit of a tough time of it at this precise time. Frank Lampard taking over Coventry City. Before we go today, Kyle Walker, message to the fans, Manchester City struggling somewhat. That we know, of course. And Pep making the 6 sign to the Liverpool fans yesterday, saying, look, we've won 6 titles in my time here. What about you guys? Kyle Walker, maybe not unsurprisingly, Martin, has come out on social media this lunchtime. We've won titles in the final games of the season, and we've made history with a record-breaking 100-point campaign right down to the last kick. We've shown time and time again that we can rise to the challenge. We will do so again. I promise you. We'll fight until the very end.
Yeah. What about it?
What about it? I suppose, yeah.
Actions and words.
But he doesn't have to tweet that there to prove the point to me. Their record's there for all to see, and it hasn't been forgotten. I think people are talking about really short memories here. Manchester City have ruled the roost here for quite a number of years. They've had these battles with Liverpool. They generally come out on top as well too. So overall, yeah, their record's there, and it will be there for eternity.
How would you feel like if one of your key players came out this lunchtime and said, we know we're going through a hard time, but don't worry about us, we're there until the very end? Do you encourage that, or just let it go?
No, I would let it go. I'd prefer the players didn't say anything. I know in today's media now, social media, you players have got their own social media outlets, but I prefer players didn't say anything. Just leave it. They don't have to say anything. You know, we know if I'm manager of Manchester City, I know I'm in a bit of a tough spot at this minute. I'll come out of it. I will do, because my record will show that I will come out of this year, and the players will come out of it because the players are generally good enough.
Terrific.
You see the interview that Ruben Diaz gave to somebody on one of the platforms. He didn't muck about. There was nothing coming back from him. How do you get through this particular Nottingham Forest next? How do you get through this particular malaise? How do you look in the dressing room? What's the noise going? Nottingham Forest next. That was all he gave the journalist.
Brilliant.
Nottingham Forest next. And I think there's something to be said for that.
Absolutely. That's the way. That's if you had a player, that's exactly the way you'd want him to approach it.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.